What if the secret to perfect parenting was admitting that none of us have a clue?
The truth, we're two real moms figuring it out in real time and keeping it real along the way.
Each episode, we're calling BS on perfection and bringing you raw combos with parents and professionals who aren't afraid to go there.
Because what if the real parenting hack was dropping truth bombs instead of pretending like we got it all together? Let's get into it.
Today, we're bringing back Dr. Chad Yarbrough, the founder of MaxGen Labs. You might remember him from episode 10, where we talked all about how genetics can help uncover hidden health risks and create more personalized care plans. But this time, we're taking things a step further and walking through our own MaxGen test results. You'll get a look at what these reports can actually reveal and how they can help you make better choices for your health. If you haven't already, we recommend going back to listen to episode 10 for the full background on Dr. Chad and why this approach is such a game changer. And if you're watching on YouTube, this is a great one to watch because we're showing you the actual visuals from our tests. Ready to take control of your health without handing your DNA over to big tech? Use code TRUTHMOMS at maxgenlabs.com for 10% off. Let's get started.
I've been running on fumes. So I know it's definitely, my body is hating me right now, but I don't have time to stop and take care of it. So I'm hoping I don't crash and burn. I've been on the coffee, change my life diet.
Oh,
yeah. So
same.
I'm like, you know, it's bad when you know, like I know we're going to get into it, but it's like, it's bad when you know, I'm like, I know this is bad. I know I need protein in the morning. I know. And I'm like, I'm too tired to do it.
Yeah. That's how I've been like, the eggs are just sitting there.
Yeah. And then I call Courtney and I'm like, my life is crazy. And she's like, you need to take a break. We all, yeah. I was like, I know the cheat code. I'm still not doing it. Now what?
We're good. We have no sunglasses on our heads.
We just have a big bun.
It's just a big bun.
I'm just hiding all my postpartum hair loss. Well, welcome back, Dr. Chad.
No, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
of course.
The last time we met with you, we really went over, what MaxGen is, what it stood for, why you started. And I think we got a lot of requests. I know that I did even in my DMs of like how to apply it. Right. And so we were like, hey, it'd be cool if we brought Dr. Chad back and made ourselves guinea pigs, really. Mm-hmm. I know one of the things you guys pride yourself on is not sharing valuable data. So we were like, well, we'll share ours.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I was just saying this morning, we were sharing our results and mine got sent to my pediatrician and they were like, sorry, we can't actually. So you guys are really locked up on
because we were even asking,
Yeah,
hey, Dr. Chad, can you get this? And he was like,
no,
yeah, hold on.
I'm probably the only one who could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are very, very locked out.
Yeah. Very much. I'm excited to see what you find, obviously, in Lennon's report, because you have not seen that at all.
No. So just so everybody's aware, what we decided so MaxGen is a genetic testing that brings your whole like right? What am I going to say this? You explain what it is.
Well, we look at the genetics to determine different lifestyle factors and things to do, supplements, like that, how to live your life essentially.
Yeah. And I started MaxGen when River was born, and that was 2022. Mm-hmm. So I did myself and River way back then. And one of the things we talked about on the last episode was how much more advanced just in the last 3 years you guys really have gotten on these tests. Mm-hmm. And I did see my partner's because he got his. And I was reading his and I was like, oh my gosh, I do need to go back and get mine redone. Because at first I was like, oh, I've done it. I know a lot, but it has gotten incredibly more detailed in the last 3 years. And these tests are insane because it's not just like, hey, you may be low in this, or hey, your genetic markers are predisposed to this. It really breaks down, especially in the works category. It really breaks down how your body manages stress, how you manage working out. If you're in the mood for right now, you're working in fertility, I'm working in weight loss, how our bodies are genetically predisposed to conditioning as well as just, daily vitamins, right?
As crazy as, just a little side note, I looked in my test and I saw that I was predisposed to having a rotator cuff injury and my shoulder had been hurting. And I was like, wait a minute, genetically, like this is a thing. My dad has had 2 rotator cuff surgeries. So it's just that cheek swab can pull something up like that. And it just blew my mind. And I was like, what else is there?
Right.
And you just dive through. And it's just, ever since I got it, because the last episode I had not taken the test and we decided to go ahead and do it really for, like you said, infertility stuff. So I've been really following this roadmap along with my blood work and kind of working those and just taking different supplements, listening to Jamie. And it's been a game changer for sure.
And I know with River that I always refer to the roadmap, right? When I go, oh, she has the MTHFR SNP, and I was like, but she also has no methylation issues, right? And so down to like what kind of supplements and the quality of supplements you're taking because of what you're learning from the test, it really does. I always refer back to it when we look at things that are going on with River. And so it was interesting to bring her father on and be like, you gave her the SNP, you know, like, I was like, you have the same mutation. But and I was like, it wasn't me. So I'm just kidding. But I think it is really important too. Like if you're listening, I know that these tests feel like they're expensive, right? They're a couple $100, but it's a couple $100 that saves you tremendously in care. I truly believe that because River, knock on wood, how we've treated her has not had any real medical issues. And I really take that pride of saying like, hey, when she is feeling this way, what are some of the things that this test has given me to help her either feel better, detox better, have a better outcome of how she digests food and things like that. So I decided for this test, we want to take it as one as a parent. So for Lennon, we have her test, and I didn't even look at them yet. And the other is you as a woman, as a mother, as somebody who is looking in as an adult. So I think it's a really cool way for us to bring back Dr. Chad and not just talk about what the test does, but actually physically walk through tests ourselves. And so you can guys, if you do it, you can see what you're up for.
Yeah.
And how to apply it to your care,
on top of on the topic of the price, we offer payment plans.
Yeah.
We've really tried to make this available to everybody.
And didn't you say it was HSA, or did you guys? Yeah.
Yeah. You can run those cards to the website directly.
Yeah. So I, one of the things that we walk through, I know we live in, the crunchy fear mongering land of, if you don't do this, this is going to happen. We send all to each other all the time. I think this is one of those things where when people are like, okay, what can I do? If I could say, if you don't spend that much on a couple coffees, you could literally have a roadmap to better health. And I think that, instead of telling you what you shouldn't do or what you can't eat, or what for yourself, what we want to give you guys are things that are going to help you, which is why, we go through NOT and naturopathics, or NET and naturopathics, and especially MaxGen. I mean, it literally is a black and white roadmap of your health.
Very, very customized down to like, Brittany loves her matcha lattes, right? Where in here, it tells me to stay away from any kind of green tea. So it's just like, there's some things that are good for you and some things that are bad for you. And it depends on the person at the end of the day. So you're really going off of this.
Right.
There's so many things that we recommend, even like the fermented foods that we recommend for the gut biodiversity. Some people can't tolerate them.
Right.
They get headaches, migraines, they get anxiety. It can even be affecting your fertility cycle.
Yeah.
Just from the fermented foods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it definitely narrows down the things that you can do.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Cool.
So where should we start? Who should we start with first?
You want to start with Courtney's?
Let's start with Courtney's. Yeah.
Cool. So we redid all of our reports last year. I trained under a guy named Walter Schmidt. Wally was a great guy. He's now since passed this last year, but he created a clinical protocol, a roadmap of what to do first, second, third, and last. What works the most, and then you try to fix as much as you can, root cause at the top, and then narrow down.
Okay.
So, and that's how I practiced when I was in practice. And I always wanted to redesign the reports in that manner because I think that makes it very easy to follow along. So the very big important stuff are in the front, and it's in order of importance. So a lot of people will get these reports and skip way ahead to MTHFR. Start throwing methylfolate at somebody, and then they get sick, anxiety, they don't do well with it. So it's very important to take these reports page by page, starting with page 1.
Okay.
So that's why we've set it up this way. And the other thing, people are like, oh my gosh, what do I do? There's so much here, it's overwhelming. Start with the green sections in the front. You'll notice there's 3 sections. On the left, you have the foundational green bar. That's the beginning. So if somebody just does the foundational, you're going to fix a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And then once we get through that, and once somebody has a good handle of that, because this stuff it's pretty in depth. You know, you're making some pretty significant life changes. You know, living a cleaner life, because we're looking at things, what kind of toxins that people are more sensitive to. You know, because we can't be perfect.
Right.
You know, but we can choose where we're perfect at. And if we choose where we're perfect at, where our weaknesses are, we're going to thrive the best, in my opinion.
And I love these because you're right. You could say, you know, and we'll just go, there's lifestyle, dietary habits. You're like, the one thing I can change right now, right? Maybe this is saying that you really need sleep, right? And then you have high stress levels. Well, maybe you're a night nurse and you can't change your sleep habits right now, but there is something dietary that you can change. So it's really cool that you can see and you can kind of pick and customize
Or tackle one at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't feel so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do this in 3 sections. That's why we did it the foundation, the core, and the advanced section. If you follow these instructions, most likely you won't even have to get to the advanced section. And if you start feeling good, stop. Like, just go into where you feel good, and then that's it. You know, you don't need to keep going.
Yeah.
You know, because you can do too much.
That's true.
You know, you start throwing tyrosine at somebody and they start getting anxiety, or, you know, they may not respond well to 5-HTP. But if someone's really, really got genetics for depression, maybe they do need to go to the advanced section and do the MAO stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but most of us don't.
I started taking a liposomal NAD, and it made me feel absolutely horrible.
NAD is a great compound, but if in my circle where I'm talking with a lot of naturopaths, a lot of doctors, there is a concern with NAD and methylation.
Okay.
So it does lower methylation status. So I don't really like to use a lot of NAD with people unless their homocysteines below 8 and methylation's good. Then let's play with it.
Okay.
You know, but that's something to be careful with.
That's so interesting because it's such again, we talked about like the Instagram, right? It's such a trendy thing right now. So you guys really have to be careful, because we learned that, especially with not cryotherapy, cold therapy, right? Cold plunges. Everybody was into the cold plunges. Well, not everybody's body reacts the same way to an intense cold therapy. You know, B12, not everybody is made the same for B12, and people are getting B12 shots and getting really sick. Well, it depending on the type and whatever. And now we're hearing about NAD. Yes, it's great, but each person's different and reacts differently.
Right. There's thousands of things you can do in functional integrative health. This is where the genetics narrows it down to what you really need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
The problem is that everyone's in this rat race for just the youth, right? What's the word I'm looking for?
longevity.
Yeah, the longevity or the eternal youth.
Yeah, the
and
fountain of youth.
The fountain of youth.
Yes.
We are searching for that. One of the things I'm looking at that's interesting is that you have an increased risk for sleep apnea. So something that, right, like maybe another thing to take care of is your airways. Right? Would that be something that's appropriate to say, hey, foundationally speaking?
Yeah, I tried the mouth tape and it ended up in my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're also adding in the mold genes too this month. So that's something that people don't realize, like sleep apnea. They may not realize that they're prone to it. Maybe they need to get checked for it. Maybe that's the root cause of all of your fatigue. Because if you're not sleeping, you're not going to heal. That's why sleep is prioritized on page 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that's why it's in this order. On that same page 2, I think we've got smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoking, because smoking messes up almost everything in our detox pathways.
Yeah.
It upregulates things in ways that, if someone's smoking, we can't really fix them. So we try to give people, based off their genetics, how to come off of cigarettes. Are you going to need medication? Can you just do, Nicorette? How much? And we try to give people actionable results on getting them well, or get them to sleep and get them to quit smoking.
So I need to quit smoking. I'm just kidding.
Everybody needs to quit smoking.
It is funny to me that something that quite literally has zero benefit to the body, it just has a hold on people.
Well, isn't
the
it coming
nicotine.
back now because all the the like that
Which
was
is even
proved-
worse.
Yeah, it's even worse now.
Yeah, the nicotine, I'm not really opposed to nicotine.
Yeah, my husband does that.
Yeah, I'll chew a 2 milligram Nicorette every now and then if I need a little cognitive boost.
Yeah.
But you're not smoking it, you're not inhaling it.
Right.
And the same thing kind of for cannabis. People are eating the edibles in our industry thinking
Yeah.
it's therapeutic in some instances. But the smoking of it, I think, is really causing a lot of issues.
Yeah. I used to actually smoke, and I had a vape for cannabis.
You
and
vaped?
with cannabis.
Oh.
Before it was like bad, and then I switched over to like the more edibles or like the drinks and everything, and it's just like much better.
Yeah. And I was
Burning
actually,
my lungs.
That's true.
we went to Dave Asprey's biohacking event in Austin, and they were handing out these natural knickknacks, like the Zen pouches, these knickknacks. So they're actually making a natural form of that.
Oh.
So just a little pouch that goes in it. But
You'll
it's,
have to send me a link to that.
yeah, knickknack.
Okay. Oh, it's called Knick-Knack. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to find it.
Yeah,
So
for
it's
sure.
kind of interesting that the holistic community is really latching on to nicotine at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big thing.
Kind of cool.
All right. Tell me what's wrong with me.
Well, I don't like going through these pages. I don't want to just look at the raw data in the back.
Okay.
But we can just skim through these real quick and
Yeah.
just kind of high level on them.
Do you want to look at it too?
The dietary habits, this is kind of cool. People are always like, oh, yeah, I'm totally an emotional eater, craving, snacking, bitter tastes. A lot of people, if they don't, especially kids, if they taste bitter, they're not going to eat their vegetables. They're just not. They don't like them. So it kind of gives someone like, okay, this is why they don't eat them. I used to say, well, just switch them to a green drink, if you want to get greens in them. But now I'm kind of a little pro-carnivore. I don't know.
Yeah. I've gone down that route.
Right. Yeah, we're kind of scratching our heads like, do we need to go full carnivore on this
Yeah.
report or what? But Debbie, one of our practitioners who's been helping me a lot with the updated research for this year, she's really huge on carnivore.
Okay.
Really huge. Really changed her life, I think. But this really just kind of explains your cravings and things like that, eating disorders if you're prone to anorexia, things like that.
Am I?
You have a low risk.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I overeat. I think is what it says here. Yeah.
That happens, and
Yeah.
it's there's a gene. There's two or three one or two I think two, FTO and maybe ISR. I don't remember, but it does inhibit your ability to feel full. So as you're eating, we may start to get full. Your brain's a little behind on that, so you're just
Yeah.
gonna keep eating.
Yep.
So you overeat.
Yeah.
So people who have it, you just have to watch your portion sizes.
I have been since I've seen this. I'm like, slow down.
Right.
It's going to be there.
It's hard when you're in mom mode though. and
I
you're
know
on
you
the
have to
go.
just like shove food in your mouth.
Yeah.
Another thing with the weight loss in there is there's one gene, APOA2. If you have that and you eat dairy, you're going to gain weight.
Do I have that?
Let's look.
Because I'm doing no dairy right now.
Losing weight?
I'm doing gluten-free and no dairy. And the
Yes.
dairy, I do have it.
Yeah, it says eliminating dairy could moderately reduce your weight.
All right, we'll keep it up.
So you probably have a heterozygous variant on that.
Okay.
And I've seen,
What
I've
does
had,
that mean?
you have one copy. You
Okay.
get one copy from mom and one copy from dad. So
Okay.
one of them gave you a copy for that.
Great.
Yeah. And I've seen people lose 5, 6, 7 pounds a month by removing dairy. That's it.
Yeah.
And they get really angry with me because dairy has casein morphine. It's almost like morphine. You get addicted to it.
Okay.
And people are like, ugh, I have to have cheese.
Yeah.
That's why we get it. It's almost like literally almost as addicting as morphine.
It's just hard when you go out to eat, I've noticed, and trying to get that. And I don't necessarily love the
Yeah.
dairy substitutes. Like if you want to get like a, gluten-free, dairy-free pizza, I'm like, I just feel like I'm eating chemicals at this point.
Yeah.
But what about raw milk?
I mean, I'm a fan.
Okay.
That's what everybody says to drink is the raw milk.
Okay.
Does that change our ability to process that dairy or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think if you have this, it's a saturated fat carrying molecule, so it's how you actually digest the fats or mobilize the fat around your body.
Okay.
So I don't think drinking raw milk would be
Do
okay
anything.
for this.
Okay.
But I
Okay,
think if
good
you're
to
going
know.
to drink it, drink it.
Okay.
I think it's
I don't really drink milk. It's really just cheese. Like just cheese is on everything. You don't realize it.
So I was with Duncan. I forget where we were, but he was speaking, and he's big on exosomes and mRNA and things that are naturally occurring in breast milk.
Mm-hmm.
And he even said, there's mRNA in milk, and if cow mRNA, so cow protein that makes you start producing cow protein. So if you drink it, your proteins are going to be similar to a cow. So I was like, man, I don't know if I really want
To be a cow?
to be a cow, but I'm sure we digest some of those mRNA.
That is
but
so interesting.
That is crazy. All right,
It's-
now I really never want to have dairy because that's
So
why I think about bringing it back in.
We might have to talk to Duncan. I wonder what he's going to say about me continuing to nurse a 3.5-year-old. Then, if there's any benefits to that one, because that is wild.
Yeah.
Because if I'm producing proteins, right?
Yeah.
I wonder what that's like. That'd be an
Yeah.
interesting conversation to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a fun guy. You guys should talk to him sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent me that text.
He's cool.
Okay. Where are we? We're on diets.
Yeah, diets. So we're looking at the response to DASH diets, ketogenic, Mediterranean, and hunter-gatherer diets, and how you're going to respond to it. And me, I do really well with hunter-gatherer. I don't break down seed oils very well, so I'm more of a ancestral type fatty guy. Okay. And I definitely feel better when I'm eating carnivore. I don't do well with seeds, oils, and stuff. But what's interesting is as we've increased the amount of seed oils in our diets, the genetics we have has shifted towards that to be able to handle it.
Okay.
So it's kind of neat.
Your body's adapting.
Yeah, we're adapting
so
to it.
can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because I know that that's a big controversy right now in like, you know, the Instagram
Especially
space.
the wellness community. I feel like half the wellness community is like, don't worry about seed oils. And the other half is like,
avoid them like the plague.
Yeah.
Yes, if you flip over to the inflammation and fats page, because fats are what breaks down into inflammatory or anti-inflammatory things.
Okay.
So the omega-6s, of course, they break down into, you know, arachidonic acids and different types of pro-inflammatory leukotrienes and prostaglandins. Well, the omega-3s, they're more anti-inflammatory. So some of us have, you're actually should be better with seed oils than most people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can tolerate a little more of it. Not saying it's good for you to go out and
No.
Don't drink it. Don't go drink some sesame
Right.
seed oil and just.
Well, it says if you have diabetes, using sesame seed oil may help reduce.
Oh, maybe you
Yeah.
should drink some sesame seed oil. I'll cook for you.
Sesame seed oil is interesting. It does upregulate one of the enzymes that helps break some of the stuff down, but only in insulin resistance.
Okay.
So that might be a benefit.
Also, I think too, I mean, I don't know if you agree with this, just because I cook a lot. And in the culinary world, I don't think people realize adding seed oils after you've cooked, not cooking them, right? Because we're talking about high burn rates. So when you're cooking something and how it breaks down when it's really hot versus I've cooked this thing and now I'm adding the sesame seed oil as a flavoring. Same thing with mushroom. What am I thinking about? Everybody loves it. Truffle oil,
yeah.
right? A lot of people don't realize the cause of inflammation from the seed oils. A lot of times it's because is the burn rate, is the cooking rate.
Right.
So if you're adding it as a flavoring source, it breaks down a lot differently than if you were to. I mean, it's the same thing with like spinach, right? It provides different benefits when cooked versus uncooked. So I don't know. I don't know if you
No,
guys.
you're right. Like the avocado oil, like that has a really high burn rate, and then like the olive oil has like a really low one. So you really want to be cooking with avocado oil, and then like putting olive oil and like your salads or like on top of it.
Right. And so I think too, as you're walking through these things and learning what's inflammation versus not, it's also important to do some research on what you're using in your everyday kitchen to help you
Right.
and how you're using it. Right.
Yeah, I only use ghee and tallow, beef tallow.
Yeah.
Poor Road Butcher, I get their beef tallow.
Isn't ghee dairy though?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't use that now.
A lot of people tend to do, you might not want to use it.
I
but
have it, but not anymore.
I use it a lot. It's a higher smoke point.
Yeah.
Because you're not breaking. Basically, when you overcook the oil and it starts white smoking,
Yeah.
you've turned it into trans fat essentially.
Right.
And that's
Okay.
what's so pro-inflammatory about
Right.
it. But I think even the raw seed oils is something we shouldn't be consuming.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I don't think so at all. Olive oil is different. That's
Yeah.
not a seed oil.
Yeah.
Avocado oil. How do you feel about avocado oil?
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Avocado oil. I take a shot of olive oil every morning.
Okay.
I
I
think it's
used to
good.
do that. I need to do that again.
I know, right? It's such.
What does
I
it do for you?
It's like it helps with weight loss too.
Really? Well, I
It's a
guess it's an
lot.
oil.
It's
Yeah.
last year when I did our big research again to update the panel. I was like, everything was going to olive oil. I'm like, I got to get back to on taking that because it upregulates a lot of your glutathione, like GPX, these glutathione genes to help produce more antioxidants.
Huh.
So it's really a great thing.
Like the first thing you do in the morning, take avocado oil or olive oil. I'm sorry. Take a
Yeah.
sip of olive. Really?
Yeah, like a little shot.
Huh.
and
I
you'll
mean-
cough a little bit if it's good olive oil.
Really?
Yeah, if it's good olive oil, you'll cough. So if I'm sampling olive oils at a show and I'm trying to, okay, this one's making me cough, I'll buy it.
I will have to try that method because I've been very stingy about my olive oils lately. Because that's the one thing I've refused to not cook with anymore. I have to have olive oil in my kitchen.
Yep.
So I have to see if I cough.
Do it. Just don't cook with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, olive oil is low smoke point.
So not even in like dishes in the oven?
I think it's okay in the oven. Don't
Okay,
you? I
okay.
don't know what the smoke point is on it. 350 is probably okay.
I just stay away with it. I just stay away from it.
can't,
Just
yeah.
substitute everything with
Yeah.
avocado oil. It usually tastes better for some reason. Like I don't know. There's more in there. Are we going back?
Yeah, we'll go back. So we're kind of discussing weight loss and some GLP-1s. Some people may need more. If they're going to do the Ozempic route, tirzepatide, Mounjaro, all those things, how are they going to respond to it? And berberine works well too. So there's some genetics where people, all they really need is berberine.
And I saw here that the GLP-1 will not work for me. Or will.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, reduced response to GLP-1s.
So does that?
But see, you're also saying you may experience increased benefits from berberine. So berberine might be a better option for weight loss.
Okay.
And these are just tendencies. These are not absolutes. Just
That's
because
a natural GLP-1. I'm not familiar with that. Okay. So
Yeah.
there's not as many side effects essentially. Okay.
Berberine's great.
Okay.
For any type of insulin resistant stuff. Berberine's amazing.
Okay.
Really good stuff. I need to put my mom on it.
I need to put my dad on it.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad.
My mom won't take anything.
My dad won't take anything.
Well, I mean, if my son was Dr. Chad, I'd probably be like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, right. Right.
She's starting to listen a little bit, but I don't know.
My mom was like she doesn't like to admit it now, but she was very like Brittany's woo woo. And then every sentence I'm like, hey, this worked for me. And this, and she's like, oh, like she's much like the last 3 years, she's been much more open to the things because I think she's seen a visible change. But she did. We had a conversation when River was little about like food additives and red dyes and food dyes. And now 3 years later, she's like, oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because everyone's starting to see.
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing.
It is.
Yeah.
And I fight her too all the time. She's like, well, your grandmother ate this every day. And I'm like, well, it's not the same as it used to be.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Also, I think the problem with that statement as a blanket is that just because somebody, again, your genetics are totally individualized to you, just because someone didn't have a reaction doesn't mean that the general population should be taking it,
Right. That's very true. All right, moving on. So going back to the inflammation page where we're talking about the seed oils and stuff, but there's fish oils too here. There's some people who really, really need fish oil, like me. I need it. I do really well on it too. So it's really, really important stuff. And that's all inflammation. And that's why this is prioritized in the front, because inflammation is basically the root of almost all evil.
Right.
So if you're inflamed and stuff like this and you start throwing B vitamins and stuff at people, you're not really getting the full benefit of it.
Right.
And when your immune system's stimulated, it shuts down the citric acid cycle. The citric acid cycle is what produces energy. And if we can't produce energy, the cells are not going to heal and our tissues are not going to heal. So we have to lower anything that's stimulating our immune system. Bad fats, which is what we're doing here, food sensitivities, which we're about to cover, and any histamine. And once we stop all this immune system stimulation, then we can get into MTHFR. We can get into B12.
Right.
So we have to handle this first.
And that's another thing too. I think people are looking for like that magic pill or that magic drug, and you're saying, no, these are lifestyle changes that we can make, and you'll probably see a better result if we handle that first.
All right. So are we on histamine?
Yeah, let's hit histamine.
Okay, what is a histamine?
Oh, this is like my favorite page.
Let's nerd out on histamines.
Histamine, everyone knows histamine as an inflammatory immune thing. Antihistamines when we have a cold or an allergy, and we get bit by a bug, it swells up real big. That's histamine, and you can actually use that. Like, ask somebody, how big does your bug bites get? And like, oh, they get huge. Okay, well, you probably are not breaking down the histamine correctly. You may have a bit of an issue. Do you have migraines? Oh, yes, all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
this is such a thing.
Actually, I don't know what I've changed. I have to think about it. But up until this year, I would get bug bites, it would blow up.
Oh, I remember that last year.
Doesn't do it this year. So I don't know. I have to figure out what changed in my dietary changes, but I don't have the same histamine response that I did last year.
You did take eggs out for a while.
When were you pregnant? Didn't you just have a child?
Yeah.
Yeah. The estrogens and the female cycle has a huge role with how the histamine is broken down.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
and vice versa.
Okay.
So
if I'm 5 months postpartum.
Yeah, the body actually produces a lot of DAO to break down histamine while you're pregnant. It protects the baby. So we know this.
Wow.
So you may still be kind of coming off of that postpartum. That's why you're not That's really, really, really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Guys, I noticed that because it usually, I'm telling you, like my entire arm would blow up. She would see it.
I thought it was like your ankle.
Yeah.
One time.
Oh yeah, I had no ankle. It was gone. It was like and this year they're just tiny little bites.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll keep riding that high then as long as I can.
You may want to do DAO enzymes when you when it starts to come back.
Okay.
You might want to help out a lot.
This is something that Jamie actually put me on the DAO when I got pregnant this past spring, and the enzymes as well.
Okay. So how does that help with fertility then?
I'll let him explain it. I just did what Jamie told me.
No, I know. I'm so interested. So
I kind of know, but I want to hear
what
his
is
explanation.
DAO, and then how does it?
Well, the DAO, it has some effects on the estrogen levels and the estrogen receptors.
Okay.
So it can directly influence your hormones.
So someone who went and got blood work and realized she was high estrogen
very
would
high
benefit
estrogen.
from.
What part of the cycle?
I think it was 7 days after ovulation.
See, I like seeing a full panel, seeing the whole cycle, the dance of the hormones, that estrogen surge.
Yeah.
Did that stimulate enough to get a good progesterone surge later?
Yeah.
That's huge for infertility and pregnancy.
Okay.
Making sure you have that big surge there. But histamine definitely can get in there and really lower things and move things around to where you're not optimal. But you can see pregnancy, the histamine levels are decreased. The luteal phase is decreased. Follicular phase, it's actually increased. And you increase around ovulation. In menopause, it's increased in menopause. So it looks like increased estrogen will actually increase histamine. So estrogen and DAO are kind of like this,
Okay.
essentially. But yeah, histamine, we think of it as an immune system chemical, but it influences our hormones. It influences our brain. It's an excitatory neurotransmitter. I had got probably 50 bug bites one time a couple of years ago. It was awful. I couldn't sleep. I was so wound up. I couldn't calm down because all the histamine that I had going on.
Yeah.
It was influencing my brain. So if you're eating these things that have high histamines in it, like fermented foods, strawberries, citrus fruits,
It could cause anxiety?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
Food dyes, food additives.
You know what's so funny is you think anxiety is like a physical stress, right? Stress from work, stress from working out, stress like a bad relationship or a friendship issue. We're not thinking that, we're putting something, if I love strawberries, but I have high histamine responses, that strawberry could literally cause me a panic attack.
Right.
It's a cumulative effect.
Crazy.
It's not eat a strawberry. But what gets really bad is when people are doing the fermented foods trying to improve their gut microbiome, and they have the DAO enzyme deficiency. That's what we're checking here. We're looking at the DAO enzyme in the gut. That's what breaks down dietary histamines.
So I should stay away from those.
Let's look. No, you have like it's a mild reduction in DAO production.
Okay.
So you're a small risk, but it's not very high.
Okay.
So you're not as bad as some people. Okay. I'd really like to see yours.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm interested in mine. I'm going to redo mine.
So the DAO enzyme is what's on the surface of our GI tract. So if we eat histamines, it breaks it down before we absorb it. That's what we're looking at here.
So would that be like going to the bathroom right away? Would that be a response?
It could be.
Okay. Because I was going to say, I can't, if I have any type of fermented food or even kefir, instant.
See,
the day's done.
It's literally making perfect sense.
Wow.
Go to the symptoms here. Migraines, headaches, digestive issues, and this tends to be the digestive issues no one can figure out. If you've been to everybody, nobody's helping, nothing's helping. The stuff that you would normally do, like eating fermented foods, doesn't help. Look at DAO. This is huge here. Histamine.
Yeah.
And what? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. Well, it's so inflammatory. It's what it's doing to your gut colon. It's making it inflamed.
Okay.
So histamine makes your skin boil up like a welt. Yeah. It's doing that to your gut.
Also, that was one of the things. So when I had really bad, morning sickness, there was a guy at the farmer's market. He was like, oh, well, fermented foods can help you with that, right? Not for me. Instant. I didn't have any acid reflux or anything else. That went down, came right back up.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So I wonder. Now I'm curious.
I am too.
I'm a minefield. I'm going in blind.
Yeah, that's the other gene that's involved in histamine is HNMT. That's what's inside the cells breaking stuff down. So it's not really dietary. It's more the headache, migraine, SNP. Okay. But it's still histamine. And all of this layers, They call it a histamine bucket a lot of times. You can handle a little bit until the bucket's overflowing.
So does that make sense why more women have migraines because of our estrogen?
Yep.
It's just so crazy. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
really all connected.
I'm even thinking about my mom. Like she has the worst migraines right before a huge storm, her barometric pressure. But she eats a lot of foods that I feel like now I'm thinking about probably cause some inflammation, and so her body's probably like, I can't take anything coming in more. I mean, it takes her out for days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. And you'll be shocked how many people would come in to see me when I was practicing. Like, I think I've got MTHFR. Well, okay, yeah, let's look at it. But then you got DAO. We need to work on that first.
Yeah.
And then they're fixed after this. Like you can fix so many people just with the DAO and histamine.
I will say taking gluten out, taking dairy, and then I have been doing the DAO right before I eat. I have so much more energy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And just feel different.
You're insulting the immune system.
Yeah.
And the immune system, like I said earlier, when it's being stimulated, it shuts the energy production down inside the cell. Wow. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So.
And then we see on the next page. Makes sense. Yeah, gluten.
Yeah, and this is tendencies towards gluten sensitivities and celiac disease and dairy sensitivities and peanut sensitivities. This doesn't mean that you have it. This just means that you are predisposed to having it statistically.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you have this predisposition, how is it going to manifest? Is it going to manifest as like a mild gluten sensitivity, or should you just not go on it to prevent it from ever getting to that point? Because celiac's a nightmare.
Yeah.
My cousin's got it. She'll be sick for a week or two if she gets contaminated. If you can get a hold of someone before they get to that point and just say, hey, you probably shouldn't be eating this stuff. Otherwise you may go down this bad path.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I definitely am not there, but I can I didn't feel good after I ate anything. Like I
Right.
always just immediately felt bloated and just disgusting. So I don't feel like that anymore.
And some people do really well with gluten. I know a woman who she didn't have any of these gluten genes. And we're like, this is really strange because we really wanted her to get off of gluten. But she would actually lose weight eating pizza.
Well, I'm jealous.
I know, right?
Who is this one?
That makes me mad. That's like the one thing I miss.
Oh, good for you.
Great.
I know.
This next page is something I think is super important.
Yep.
Especially with right now where the climate of I guess.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making this page, and I want to dive a little more into it this year on our update. But yeah, this is something that people don't realize, and that's what I wanted to do with this test. People, they don't realize that mold might be causing an issue. They don't realize that there's sleep apnea. They don't realize that there's food dyes and everything.
Yep.
And some people are really sensitive to this stuff. I'm not. I can eat. I'm really not.
Yeah.
But does it mean I can eat it? I really shouldn't. No one should be eating this stuff. But especially if you have a kid who has ADD, ADHD, a little all over the place, definitely pay attention to this page.
Yeah, and that's what we saw with the To Die For people, right?
Yep.
Their son couldn't even have a tattoo with Blue One on it because he would have a reaction because he was so sensitive to food dyes. So that's interesting to see.
Yep. And they're actually broken down, like I think Red 40 is broken down by one of the histamine genes, HNMT, I believe. So kind of a cool mix here. But yes, these are really interesting, especially the green tea things, because everybody drinks green tea. And some people, especially if you're dealing with anxiety, they may really not do well with green tea. Yeah. And that's something that we wouldn't think of. But it slows down COMT, which is what breaks down our catecholamines in the brain, which is norepinephrine, or adrenaline, essentially.
Right.
So it's really something you need to pay attention to. Caffeine metabolism, whether somebody can break down caffeine. There was actually a study, I believe, recently that showed people with that variant is more likely to have a heart attack. So
Wait,
kind
do
of
I have it?
You don't.
Okay. It
low
looks like I can
sensitivity.
handle the caffeine.
Yeah.
Which I've always felt like I have.
See,
So,
I'm the opposite. I'm the one that gets shaky.
yeah.
So I'm interested
So
to see.
you stay with your green tea, I'll stay with my coffee.
But I love that it's not just what I love about these things is it breaks down things that feel right now that they're trendy, but they're also kind of pillars to the health, right? Things that we consume every
Right.
day, like the sulfur-containing foods, cruciferous vegetables, the fermented foods. Everyone's big on fermented. We're talking about like kombucha to fermented foods like what am I thinking of?
Kimchi.
Right? Everybody's big on kimchi right now. They're throwing it all over foods in restaurants.
Yeah.
Food dyes are hot because it's been a product of political discussion. And so you're taking things that you may either hear about or consume on a daily basis and really breaking down how it fits in your lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've tried to break it down to where it's easy for people to digest and implement. And this is quite a bit, smoked meats, people may be eating that all the time, fermented foods. It's a big change.
Coffee culture.
Sulfur containing foods is interesting because you're told a lot of times to eat it to help with detox, but sometimes it'll back you up and people can get really foggy headed and they don't do well with it.
Yeah, I have to eat a lot apparently though.
Yeah, you may do well with it.
Because of the estrogen, it's like helps detox the estrogen.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been eating broccoli like crazy.
Yeah, what is it? Brocco-raffin, is that what it's called? It's in the broccoli seed.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's great.
Okay.
Great stuff. Great antioxidant. The next page, I'm a big toxic exposure guy. I just don't think we need to be around anything chemicals.
Right. So this is technically environmental toxins.
Correct.
Then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When I was working with infertility clients, I'd do a toxic urine check, and we offer them on our website.
Okay.
They're relatively cheap. You pee in a cup, put a dipstick in it, mail it to us, and we'll check it for 8 different toxins: phthalates, parabens, MTBE. I mean, that's a whole nother podcast in of itself.
Oh yeah.
Avoiding that stuff is just. I had a whole hour-long presentation I used to give on just toxins.
Yeah.
Because it's just crazy, the stuff that we're putting in people's bodies and on the grass. I had a lady, I think we talked about her in the last podcast, didn't I? The dementia lady who had Agent Orange in her blood. Like, what in the world?
Right.
It's crazy what you're going to see in some of these people. And here in Nashville, I think we have a ton of MTBE in the water here, because every time I've checked myself, I'm positive for MTBE.
What is that?
It's a gasoline additive. It's somehow polluted groundwater.
That was one of the first things I splurged on. I was like, I don't care about new rugs. I want a whole home filter because it was, I didn't even know about MTBE, but when they came and checked the water, they were like, you have as much chlorine in your water as the pool outside.
Oh gosh.
And I was like, oh yeah. And I could smell it.
Yeah.
That was how I figured I was pregnant. I was like, I could smell the chlorine in the water.
No, my father-in-law comes from Wisconsin and he's like, y'all's chlorine level is like, how do you not smell it? And I'm like,
really?
I think I'm just used to it at this point. But
yeah. And they put chlorine in the pool to do what? Kill bacteria?
Yeah.
What do you think it's doing to your microbiome when you drink it?
Right. And a lot of people think it's so funny because you talk about your skin and it is the biggest organ, right? It's covering your entire body.
Mm-hmm.
And we are just exposing it to so many different things all of the time.
Yep.
And breathing in the mist, the steam. I have a filter on my shower head.
The next thing I want to, the next thing I want to fight right now, we're going to move out of there. But so I'm from Philadelphia, and there's a place in Philadelphia called Fishtown. And a long time ago, I told you this, I've been watching the planes and how low they fly because that toxin. So where I'm from in Philly, the area called Fishtown in the 90s had a increased rate of brain cancer. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. This isn't like a conspiracy. This actually happened.
Yeah.
And they attributed it to the low-flying planes and the emissions that the planes were putting over the neighborhood and the amount of toxins. And so whatever that was causing the brain cancer. So they then added how low the planes are allowed to legally fly over neighborhoods. And now that Nashville's becoming hot, and when we first bought the house, there was not many planes. And I literally every day, I'm like
every 5 minutes,
I can touch
your
it.
house.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, we're getting brain cancer. It's funny. I'm a little bit crazy about it, but I do believe if you continue to expose your body and you do not detox it, it is wild what you've now exposed your body to.
What you can control really is, number one, I think your cleaning products. Number two, like any kind of personal hygiene products, what you're putting outside in your lawn, like finding those more natural solutions, like not using Roundup. I know that they changed it, but it's like, I think it's even worse now is what
this year, even insecticides have become big because there's a lot of people that say natural insecticides and natural fungicides. And this year and last year, I love my garden. It's been my sense of comfort. And I have seen more insects come in, good insects. Yeah. And I'll never forget this. We had an issue with aphids. And I went online for some reason. I'm like, how to get rid of them? Like, what can I spray on them? I can't take them. and it was called the aphid guy. And he was like, let it go, because the more that they are showing up, if you can, let the good bugs come, because the bad bugs only show up and the good bugs figure out that the bad bugs are there and they take care of it. If you continue to rid, this is like antibiotics. If you continue to rid the good bugs, you will also rid, or bad bugs, you also rid the good bugs, because there's no need to sustain that ecosystem because there's nothing there for them. So the last 2 years, I'm like, all right, let it go. I'll let it go. I'll let the bad bugs show up. And sure enough, this year I've had no Japanese beetles. Last year I had thousands, no Japanese beetles. And I've had 0 to none aphids, because they show up in the very beginning of the season and the good bugs come in and they're like, meals. And then my garden's been thriving. And
Your garden's crazy.
yeah. And then our lawn guy was like, hey, you need, your lawn's predisposed to fungicides and whatever. We should probably do these things. And I was like, no, I don't want to this year.
No.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And I started paying attention to the types of weeds that are showing up and Googling them and like reading on them. And a lot of them are showing up are like, hey, you have high levels of metal toxicity. That's why these weeds are in particular coming up, like pigweed. And it was saying that basically these weeds show up to consume the toxins in the, so it's the environment taking care of itself.
So crazy.
In the same way with your body. If you eliminate these exposures, your body does wonderful things to take care of the toxins around you, but only if it can detox the right way, right?
Right. We had chickens. Chickens.
Oh, I love chickens.
They ate every insect that was in my garden. I love it. They're great.
I need them.
Like
I miss them.
cat eats all the insects in the house.
And you're right. I get, everybody likes to do these detoxes every year, and you're not fixing the problem.
Yeah.
If you don't know what is in your body, how are you really going to fix it? So I've always been pro check yourself for urine toxins, see what's actually, and remediate that.
Yeah.
Right.
Not just do a yearly detox. You're just going to get right back where you were before.
Right.
So big fan of that.
Yeah, you have to train your internal ecosystem.
This stuff messes all kinds of, like, I prioritize this exposure page because it's what really causes a lot of oxidative stress. It causes a lot of methylation demand on methylation, demand on detox. If we can remove the exposure before we actually start doing things to stimulate and move and push, that's the way we should do it. So you see a lot of the stuff in the green sections are passive type things, removal of exposures, things like that, and just basic stuff, except histamine. I mean, that's a pretty big page.
Now, core, what is core?
Let's roll through this toxic page real quick and then get to core.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize we went over an hour. Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, shit.
We'll have to bring you back for a part 2 for Lennon.
We got through the foundation.
Yeah.
Well, we can skip this. So the toxic exposure page, it's just talking about Tylenol, if you shouldn't take it.
Yeah.
Different environmental things that, BPA, plastics, butadiene, phthalates, parabens, just which ones you're more sensitive to, which ones you really should focus on removing. The core section, this is really where we're starting to play a more active role in supporting different pathways, like methylation, B12, oxidative stress. I prioritize oxidative stress because it's another root of all evil. It causes, oxidation. Oxygen is we need it to produce energy, but it also oxidizes our cells and our tissues, including our face. A lot of wrinkle and skin longevity stuff is around oxidative stress, and a lot of cancer. If you leave a banana out in the open and it starts to turn brown, it's oxidizing. So that's what our tissue would do with the amount of oxygen we have in it. But these oxidative stress molecules prevent that from happening. So this is what we're looking at here. And this can really make a big difference in someone's ability to produce energy. If you see a lot of things on this page, it can really change someone's life. I have somebody who still goes into my old office every month and buys a bottle of SOD. Her body just doesn't make enough of it. And if she doesn't take it, she can't get out of bed.
Wow.
So it's huge stuff. And let me say it's before MTHFR in my protocol.
Okay.
So big deal for there. So then we're getting to the core nutrients. We're looking at vitamin D, how you use it, how you break it down, or how you activate it, how it works in the receptors. More core nutrients, so vitamin E, C, B6, and phosphatidylcholine. All these are really important.
What I love that we're on page 14 before we even get to vitamins. Like
Yep.
we've gone through so many things, and now we're like, okay, now let's look at things, maybe even in the supplemental form. But we're 14 pages in before we even take on that.
This was designed to help people turn their life around and make the correct changes for their bodies. Yeah, so now we're getting into MTHFR and B12. We may actually switch these pages around, go B12 first. But if you look at this, and if you go to your doctor and just say, hey, I want to check MTHFR, you're just going to get MTHFR. You're not going to get those, 15 pages before this that you got. And look at what we're doing here. I mean, we're looking at, how many genes are we looking at in folate? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 different genes just in folate. MTHFR is just one piece of a very big puzzle. It's a very important piece, but there's a lot of others here that we need to look at too. And there's one, Courtney, you got, I'm not a big fan of. You see this graph on the right, this flow chart? Yeah. That very first one, FOLH1, that's what actually brings folate into the cell from our digestive tract. It's sort of our absorption. It's an enzyme there that helps break it in. So you're having right off the bat, you got problems just absorbing it.
Okay.
So that compounds everything beyond that.
Okay. What do you do for that?
So if she's taking like B12 methylfolate, that's not what we want.
Yeah, it's what you want.
Oh, it is what you want.
Isn't there like a methyl that's like kind of covers all the Bs? Would that be something to be a little bit better?
There's a couple products that are multiple Bs that are activated. Zymogen's got one. Professional Health Products has one. I think we're going to see a lot of products come on the market this year. Next year, they're mixed folates. So you're going to have a mixture of all of them instead of just folinic acid, methylfolate. Which one? I think we're going to start blending those together. And I'm working with a company now trying to get that to come to fruition.
Awesome.
Yeah. But look, you don't really have, you've got MTHFR, which is a slight decreased, but you have the weaker one, not the bad one.
Okay.
When a heterozygous variant there, I don't do much for that.
Okay.
It's very minimal.
Okay.
Very minimal. But you've got this absorption issue. And then you have an RFC SNP2, so you have a hard time transporting folate.
Okay.
And then you got MTHFD1, which is MTHFR's bigger brother, like upstream. So you do have some folate stuff going on, but you don't have MTHFR. You would have missed all that if you would have just done a regular panel from Quest.
Right.
So yeah, you definitely need to take a little more folate than the average person.
Okay.
I don't think it matters whether it's folinic acid or methylfolate.
So are you saying that on a Quest, she would test MTHFR negative? She would be like, you don't have it?
Basically, yeah.
But on this, I do have certain SNPs.
You have folate issues.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely folate stuff.
Okay.
But your MTHFR is minimal. It's your heterozygous on A1298C. That's like a 10 to 15% reduction. It's not much.
Okay. Okay.
I mean,
Good to know.
So all in all, this group, like now that we're going through all this, and I know B12, and then there's COMT, which I really want to get. We have to bring you back because I want to go into the what's that called, the warrior gene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We have to have a part 2 to this.
Pretty sure she's the warrior and I'm the warrior.
Yes. We figured that out,
yes,
right?
That's different things.
Makes a good combo though.
Does it?
Yeah. So honestly, stay tuned for part 2 because we'll have to find another date and bring this back because there's so much more. This is like we have to do like a 7-hour episode.
Yeah.
This just covers so much, and this is why it's important, right? This is like a $200 test. That is HSA. You can use your HSA card to get this. You could do a payment plan, whatever. But this is something that I really believe if you care about your health and you want to know foundationally how to take care of yourself, you have to start with the blueprint. And there's only one you. And MaxGen is the only thing that I've ever seen that's been able to bring all of you onto a couple of pieces of paper that really can roadmap how you take care of yourself and in your life.
It doesn't change because it's your genetics. It's not a blood test. So you have this roadmap for life. You don't have to keep retesting, right?
Nope.
It's just done. $200 done.
Done.
So,
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Chad.
Yeah.
Well, sorry we didn't get through it all.
No, we got
part
more.
2.
No, see, we got to keep bringing you back. This is the Dr. Chad Show.
It's my podcast now.
Hey mama, if you're listening and thinking, I need to know more about my family's genetics, we've got a little treat for you. We're talking to MaxGen Labs today, but if you're ready to dive in right now, they're giving our listeners 10% off any of their at-home genetic tests. Whether it's nutrition, fitness, detox, or methylation, MaxGen helps you take the guesswork out of your health. Just go to maxgenlabs.com and use code TruthMoms at checkout for 10% off. That's TruthMoms for 10% off, because knowing your body is the first step to taking control of your health.
Thanks for tuning in to Truth Moms. Remember, mamas, the truth starts at home.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. It really helps us reach more moms like you, and plus, it's free.
Until next time, stay strong, stay curious, and we will keep dropping those truth bombs.